All right, fellas, let's get started. So here we are on this day. We headed out to Aransas Pass for another fishing tournament. As you can see from this picture, this was a fishing tournament we had been in the week before, wherein for a youth Christian group, they ended up opening up a side pot for the parents and guardians, and as you can see, came out on top. So on this particular day, uh, it was actually a team tournament. My son and I were on the same team, so just one of us needed to come out with at least two reds. I did end up managing to reel in two small reds and a small drum, a black drum earlier in the day. Then everything just slowed down. I ended up, after reviewing the videos that we have, I noticed that we just had video of one of the reds that we ended up catching. My son struck out, so let's get started. We did have a visitor at the very end and a huge surprise that I'll get into later on in the video. So let's get started. All right, fellas. So we're out here in Aransas Pass. We're in another fishing tournament. All we need is two reds, slot reds, so that we can make the weigh in. We're going to start off this morning by fishing some islands here. We got a string of about 3 little islands that run east and west, and then we have another 4 or 5 that run north. Once we fish around these islands, we'll get out of the way of all this boat traffic from this channel, and then we'll hit a big old flat, see if we can't find anything in there. Then we'll hit some areas that we fished at last weekend, see if we can get some flounder, because we are in some side pots for heaviest flounder. So today we're looking for reds and flounder and maybe a leopard red. So we're on that side pot also. So out here in Aransas Pass, we got a bunch of this turtle grass. Snags up all our baits. The winds aren't too bad. They're probably 7 to 8 right now, but they are supposed to pick up, so we're going to try to get as much fishing as we can done this morning for the winds pick up. Right now we're using a Texas Rattler jig head with a Caden lure. This is it right here. Golden chartreuse. See how that does. Check back here in a bit. Alright, so now that the sun's come up, we're fishing these potholes. That's where the reds like to hang up and ambush their prey. So we see these potholes, we cast right into the middle of them. Let's see if we can't lure a red out. If we were just fishing a fish, we'd be trying to get some trout, but today's not a trout day. It's a red and flounder day. I'm working my retrieve from fast to slow depending on the depth of the grass, so I don't get snagged. And I'm pulling up a lot of grass right now. Now the tournament we're in right now, we did see, that's me snagged on some of that turtle grass. We did enter as a team. So there's little John over there. He hasn't called or texted, so I guess he hasn't had any luck either. He was fishing on the other side of that island. From what we've been hearing, the red bite has been really slow. This is just our second time out this year. nobody knows why. They were saying it's could be because of the heat, could be because of the high tides. I mean, nobody knows. There was a lot of action this morning right before we got on the water. A lot of bait action. It slowed down. We were actually stuck in a huge ass school of mullet for a while. Another thing I do is if I do see mullet jumping, I will cast to that area. You never know. It might be being chased by something. Or I'm trying to get into, I can see a big pothole from here. Right there. But or sometimes mullet are just mullet and they jump for no reason. You never, sometimes they're being chased by something big. So since I last checked, I've switched up on the color of the lure. Went to the chicken of the sea down south. See how this one does. I mean, right now we're just doing a bunch of blind casting. John's fishing with popping cork over there, so I'm guessing he's using a Gulp. But this is actually our second time fishing this area. Usually we fish the area of the JFK Causeway, and we know that area pretty good. But since the fee to get into this tournament wasn't that much, so I might as well come over here and try this area, that way we can learn it. But I've heard that in that area where we usually fish, it's been slow also. I know there was a kayak tournament there not too long ago, I believe in the beginning of May. I heard it was real slow. So we're on. It looks like a big trout. Oh no, it's a little red. Looks like it's gonna be too small. Oh, that's not where I want you to go, buddy. Come up here. He's got to be 20 inches. He's probably gonna be about, this one's gonna be about 16, 17 inches. Too small. Get him on the board. Yep, that's right. 17 inches. 3, 4, 5. This guy's got about 12, 13 spots on him. Alright, so we're headed back to reset our drift. That guy was sitting in a little pothole. Saw some erratic mullet movement, casted to it. We were able to pick him up. So hopefully this is the beginning. We might have just been fishing on the wrong side of these islands this morning. So I got John working his way back this way, so we can hit more of these potholes. See if we can't get a couple of them slot reds. So on top of the
the tournament we're in today. We're also in the Star Tournament. If you guys haven't joined the CCA Star Tournament and y'all fish, I would advise you do that. I know about 2 weeks ago there was a tag redfish. A tag redfish would get you a boat and a truck, and he was not registered as a member or registered for the tournament. This was in Galveston. As far as I know, there hasn't been any tagged redfish caught down here. So if we can get a tag redfish, we'll take a tag redfish, even if it's not the heaviest. I don't know if you can see that. We got some tails in front of us. They're probably just mullet, but we're gonna cast that way and check it out anyways. So once we get to where we're gonna set our drift, I don't know if you can see all that mullet action this way. I don't know if they're jumping, being active because that boat that's moving to them, or there's something after them. But once we set our drift again, we'll stand up where we can get a better bird's eye view of what's in the water, so we can sight cast some of these threads. But there are a lot of mullet right here. You can see them. And the good thing about these Hobies, it's real shallow here. Yeah, probably 8 inches of water. We just flutter kick these things through it so we can reset our drift. And as soon as John gets here, I'll probably set him up just south of me on the other side of this island. See if maybe there's a big old red or two in these areas where these big old mullet are jumping. So, man, those mullet are being chased by something. So we're gonna keep fishing this area over here. Just drop off to a little bit deeper channel. So as we push further away from the islands, it does get a little deeper. So we'll be back. All right, so we just picked up another baby red. First cast with the cork and the gulp. So maybe they don't want fish, so we're gonna keep on with the gulp. Maybe they want shrimp. Let's see how this goes. I had just casted in that area several times with down south lure, hadn't picked up anything. A couple of pops after I cast it out, and we were on. So there might be shrimp that they want. I saw something weird here, so let's cast. Give it a couple of pops. Nothing, so keep fishing this area, casting and popping. So I don't care what people say. Dolphins are assholes. One of them just charged Little John earlier. It was a little bit deeper water. I haven't seen them probably here in about 15-20 minutes, so hopefully they left the flats and didn't disturb the area too bad. Dude, he's right here, dude. Got a big old shark, about a 5-foot shark in front of us. He's a killer. He's a killer. That was a big shark, John. Alright, so I guess somebody needed a ride. We're gonna give this guy a ride home. At least so that shark don't get him. Oh, I guess he could fly. He was just taking a little break.